Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nocturnal Gaming Network. My name is Xeriua, and today we are playing Spaceflight Simulator, the free Android and Apple phone spaceflight simulator game. And I just want to remind people, if they're enjoying the series, and they have an Android or Apple phone, I assume it works on like a Windows phone too, but I can't be sure because Windows phones are weird. You can go to your related game store and download the game for free. And this is not a sponsorship. I just like the game, and if you're liking this series, I figure you might want to try it if you aren't already. So yeah, where are we? We are building a space station. And today we are going to launch the other part of the solar arm into space. So it's going to connect down here on the bottom, and it's going to stick out to both the top and bottom side relative to this orientation. And yeah, we're gonna go right to the build menu, and we're gonna get going on this thing. So, all right, we basically need what? We need one of these. We don't need one of these. We need one of these. And then we want to go to the big parts. Ooh, we want to go to utility first. We need to start with one of the extra large docking ports. Let's put it right here. And then we can go to our big parts. And we're going to connect the arm into it like this. And then we're going to take and put that there, and that's going to neck the big arm down, and then we're going to go and make a little node here, something like this. Bam! So here is the docking arm, basically, and not docking arm. What am I talking about here? The solar arm, and we're going to put docking ports on either side here so we can continue to expand it. We're going to put the solar panels both on the top, well, in this orientation, left and right docking ports, and that's where they'll extend from. Now we can begin working on the rocket. Let's go back to basic. I'm going to stick it right here. We need to find a command module, put it right there. Then we can go back to basic again, and we're going to use our standard transfer stage. And I assume that we're going to need to steal just a little bit of fuel from the actual solar arm, but that's okay. We may be okay. I don't know for sure. Alright, so here we are. That looks fine. That looks dandy. Now we need to go through and put an fairing on this thing. We're going to start right down bottom, and we're going to cover the entire thing, just like this. And then get ready to neck it up one level. Perfect. That's not the right one. I want this one, and I'm debating here. I think I want to go down. I'm just gonna use this. There we go. We have the fairing in the center like that, and then it flares out, and then it kind of closes back down again. I don't think it's technically, truthfully, like really specially aerodynamic, but I'm gonna do it because I can, and this is a video game. And there's our payload and the transfer stage. Now we're going to actually build the launch stage here. We're going to need... We're going to need a decent amount of thrust on this one. So we're going to go to our big parts. And we're going to use one of these, and then we're going to put 2 of the Hawk engines on it. Now we need some boosters. So for our boosters, 244 tons. Actually, that's pretty good for a second stage here. Wrong thing. I want to do this. I'm going to stack. How much of this do I want? let's put one of those and one of those. No, I can't do that. How about we put a transition, and then we put that. We're going to do another transition right here, and then we're going to do another one of these. All right, and then we're going to put another transition, and I'm going to neck it down even farther up ahead, but I'm going to put a couple Titan engines on this. And we're going to make sure that we have massively more thrust than we could ever possibly need here. Boom. Perfect. 2.6. All right, basic. We might be overdoing it on fuel here. Just neck it down and put a nose cone on it. This is a really heavy launch, though, so I want to make sure that I have enough fuel to do this. I don't want to like run out midway through. The question is, what's the ISP is 250 and the thrust is 115, and then what's this one? The ISP is 285 and the thrust is 112. So mass is 8 tons. We might do better with a Pioneer here, because I think we're going to be most of the way in. I'm going to do a Pioneer, because that'll put us most of the way into orbit. The 2 thrusters will put us most of the way into orbit, and this will be, or towards space, and this will just be to help start to circularize our orbit. And there's our rocket, so let's get going here. We'll launch. Alright, we'll tap the thingy, zoom out a little bit, and get a nice thumbnail shot for this. Perfect. That looks wonderful. That looks like a nice, amazing, I'm going to say amazing rocket here. We're going to thrust up to 100% thrust, and we're going to hit all 4 of these monster Titan engines. And when I have a bunch of engines, I just go back through and click them on and off to verify that they are in fact on. Where is our space station? Our space station's right here. Yes, that is the space station. Perfect. This should be, hold on, let's unset that as target. This, yes it is. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that is the module we deorbited, and it is still successfully deorbited. So let's begin with the launch. There we are. We've got some nice thrust to weight. We're going to start turning right away, and we're going to make sure that we have a nice high gravity turn here. We do still want to probably be at the 45-degree mark. There we go. We're doing good. We're going to keep turning over. There we go. This time we'll be fine. We're just going to go to like 60 degrees and just stay there-ish. And that should put our apoapsis very, very slightly out of the atmosphere. Well, it's a little more than slightly. I'll actually... No, this is probably good. That's good. 40, yeah. This is a heavy launch. We'll be fine. Boom, there we are. Separate this, and then we can turn our engine on. And we're going to go horizontal because we have a nice high apoapsis. We shouldn't have to worry about that. We want to put most of our energy, most of our thrust into a nice sideways direction so we can circularize ourselves here. And it's going to be slow here at first. Actually, we're going to have to be radial out because I think we are approaching our apoapsis a little bit too fast here. Yeah. Yeah, we're probably going to have to turn radial out in a second here. But for right now, we're fine. We're starting to gain velocity in the sideways direction. I don't know why I want to keep saying dimension here. Alright. So we're almost at 1,000 meters per second. We need about 600 additional meters per second, and that should be decent. That shouldn't be that hard to do here. We should be fine for this stage. We may actually have a little excess fuel. Actually, we're most likely going to have some excess fuel. So what we'll do is we'll use it to send ourselves into a nice high orbit here. Send ourselves right towards the station. And then from there we can turn around and send this thing back and deorbit it, and then send all the extra fuel into the station itself. There we go. Almost caught up to the apoaps. We've almost got enough speed. Well, a couple more 100 meters per second, and we will have enough speed to actually attain a nice circular orbit here. So that's alright. Want to keep rotating ourselves around. It actually looks like we're a lot closer to the correct amount of fuel than I initially thought. We are a little high on our apoapsis for attaining a circular orbit, I suppose, when you consider where we normally are. Normally we're at about 30, say 35 or something like that, 37. This time we're all the way up at 50 kilometers. But that's okay. This was a nice heavy launch, and we wanted to be 100% sure that we were going to not smash into things. So, I'm actually going to just separate the stage right here. We have a little leftover fuel, but that's okay. Separating it there will ensure that we are able to properly deorbit that thing. It's going to go back into the atmosphere and air brake itself, so that's good. Now, from here, we will boost ourselves up to about 245, where we like to normally be. And then we can begin rendezvous with the station. This is sort of slow going, boosting this thing up. Probably because it's so heavy, this little Pioneer engine doesn't want to do it. I'm sorry, not even the Pioneer, it's the Broadsword at this point. The little engine that could. Alright, so we're almost at 200. We're almost there. I think we're going to have to go around a couple times, because I think we're actually going to end up being ahead of the station when we actually make our way around there. But we'll see. There we are, 244.6. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to this module. We don't have any control over it, which is perfectly fine. We're just going to accelerate time a little bit. And once we make our way back into the atmosphere, what we're going to do is we're going to stop accelerating. So right about here, 28.6 kilometers, and our periapsis is changing ever so slowly. Once we hit 25 kilometers, actually, and we'll just accelerate to 25. There we go. Once we hit 25, it should be a much more drastic change. Yeah, see how fast that's going? It's spinning right around. By the time our apoapsis makes it over to us, it'll be properly braked down. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We might end up on a collision course with the planet before the apoapsis makes its way all the way around. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the case. So we're just gonna sit here for a second and wait until the periapsis is 0. Boom. We have collision course. Alright, so let's switch back to this. That module is okay, it'll disappear on its own. what we should do is take the time now to rotate ourselves around so that we're in the correct orientation for apoapsis. It's right about here we can let go, and then I'm going to use the time warp to set my angle. We're pretty close here. We can just rotate a little tiny bit more. There we go. That's probably good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to time warp 500 times, and we're just going to wait. And we'll go around probably 2 more times. 1 more, and this should be pretty close. Yeah, we're back behind it. Now we're going to accelerate a little bit. There we go. Raise our periapsis. And this is the nice, easy way to rendezvous with a craft rather than, doing all sorts of science stuff and specifically attempting to. And we have to launch perfectly, and if we fly crooked at all, it won't work, and then we mess up, and I have to record the video 20 times to get it right. Now, I'm not into that. I'm into easy, and this is a fairly easy way to do it here. We'll just go to like 175, go around at least 1 more time. That puts us really, really close. Let's go around 1 more time here. That should put us, very slightly ahead. That's not okay. That's not okay at all. I thought that was going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more speed into our apoapse, and we'll get outside, ever so slightly outside of the orbit. There we go. And we can, instead of coming in from the planet side of the station, we're going to go from the opposite side of the station, from outer space side. Oh no, that's a little bit past. Alright, we need to raise our periapsis here. So let's get going on that. We need to just raise it outside the orbit of the station again. So I'm going to aim for like 255, let's say. 255 is probably a good number. 252 is okay. But, oh no, we're out of fuel. What we want to do is we want to transfer a little. Let's just go with like 15-20%. There we go. And our apoapsis is 250. Our periapsis is 249. So what we need to do is turn our engine back on. Oh, no, it isn't. It's 250 by 259. So that's decent. We're going to turn our RCS on, use the RCS to rotate us around, and then we will lower our apoapse using the RCS here. Oh no. This thing is so top heavy. Oh boy. Alright. 262, 250. Let's go a little bit outside of 250, and then we can keep lowering the apoapse to like 255. So somewhere like here is probably pretty good. 260. Alright, we can lower this back down again. $257, $256, okay. So there we are at 255. Perfect. We've used more fuel than we probably should have, but I made a mistake. So let's go. Oop. I'm not following it. There we go. Now we can follow it around. We're going to have to go around probably 4 times. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe just 2 times. And that'll be actually really good. That's really close right there. Alright, so I think if we're close enough to see it, we are close enough to see it, we're close enough that we can actually make our way over to it. So let's do that. So let's turn on our thrust. There we are, and we'll see how this moves. Okay. We need some some downward thrust now, and we're going to actually angle ourselves over to cancel some of the sideways momentum. There we go. All right, let's rotate back upwards again. We need to still cancel some sideways momentum, but not as much here. I think I'm gonna use RCS to do this. I maybe should be trying to rotate myself and use the main thruster to cancel the sideways momentum, but I'm not going to, because I don't feel like it. Even though it really is probably the smartest thing I could do here. Yeah, I need a little more. So let's go to like, there we go. You can do it, I believe in you. Little RCS thrusters. There we are. That's actually basically what we need. We need to go just a hair more to the left and upwards a tiny bit. Yeah. There we go. Downwards. Okay, and this is it, right here. Please don't jump on me like that. It scares me when it jumps like that. That means I'm going to smash into it. Alright. Oop, we're rounding the corner in our orbit, and now it's moving away from us. That's not good. There we go. We're almost there. Just a teeny tiny bit more. And now we can start canceling the sideways momentum relative to the station. I didn't say completely, I said start to. There we go. There we go. And now we just need to start heading into the station to actually make contact with it. So right about here. Ever so slowly. Stop sending me things, Heather. I'm trying to record. Sheesh. Alright, and here we are. We have docked this monster with a little teeny tiny thruster, and we've connected it in. So, before I leave, before I say next time, we should actually deorbit this, I guess. We're at 1% fuel, so what we're going to do is we're going to raise ourselves up to about the 5% that we need. Now we're at 5%. We're going to separate. Perfect. There we go. Point ourselves retrograde here. So much thrust. There we go. Make sure that we make it safely past the station, and we can just boost up. And there we are. Deorbit ourselves is successful. There goes the station. We're actually going to switch to the station. Now, next time when we return, we will begin working on the solar panels. Somewhere in between recording this video and the next one, I will, add the other side of the solar arm so we're nice and balanced and ready to go. So thank you all so much for watching. My name's Xeriua, and this is the Nocturnal Gaming Network bringing you Spaceflight Simulator. Have yourselves a wonderful night, everybody.